Welcome to Dip-a-Toe.
The Dip-a-Toe Show. Let's go. It's Schmeckle time.
It's a Schmeckle time.
Yeah,
It's a happy hump day Schmeckle time.
Yeah, get your hump day Schmeckle.
Huh? So
my
excited.
God. I could take that like 3 different ways sideways, but I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to do that.
Look at who we got in here already. First, here to support my favorite homie. How you doing, Greg? Gotta be. He's in the house. He said he was the first one in here, and of course, Schmeckles says, "I love you so much."
Schmeckles and Schmeckles is backstage right now, right?
Yes.
But we were having a chat while you were off camera, and we were talking about how crypto has been so great for us, bringing all of us together. That for those of us that are just the you and me's of the world, how are being able to have this international network that would have never happened if it wasn't for internet and other things of that nature that have happened over the past, say, 20, 30 years. But prior to that, it was the very, very wealthies that would get together and agree to converge and talk and chat and, do other things. Stuff that we do in Vegas.
It's super cool too, to meeting Niall and Crypto Queen and now James Ray. The accents, I love it. And they all call me Melissers or something like that. And like the way they say my name, and it's like so cute. And then I always try to do the no, but I can't do it. I cannot.
Okay. I recommend watching 1 year's worth of Australian TV because there's a distinct difference between Aussies and the Brits. The Brits, will, right? And it's really easy to crossbreed those. But if you listen, they different. Are vastly different, right? Vastly different. So I think genetics actually might play a role in that. Like we default to some of our lineage. No. Poppycock.
No, but I've really enjoyed meeting and talking with people from all over the world. It's one of the greatest treats of being involved in the crypto community.
Amen to that.
It's just so awesome. And of course, talking with folks that probably wouldn't have given me the time of day before, it's just super exciting. And I just everyone's lovely. Mr. Marvin Davis in the house. Want to say hello. We've got 38 people in here. Please like, share, and subscribe. Share this out. This is going to be a fantastic show. As we said, we have James Ray, XRP, Schmeckles in the house tonight. We're going to go over his project on the XRP Ledger. That's going to be fantastic. And there's a couple other things in the second hour that I want to touch on. We got the fantastic news of SEC dropping the appeal on the Ripple case. So we'll play a little message from Brad and talk about that a little bit. There's been a lot of stuff there. I watched a fantastic podcast today, the All In podcast. Scott Bessent was on, and that was fantastic. And of course, Chairman Powell, the Fed chair, came in and gave his 2 cents on the interest rates and stuff. But hopefully in the second half hour, we'll talk about that a little bit, and we'll have some fun also. But I want to welcome everyone that's in, 48 of you in here now. Becky Forbes in the house, Optimistic Prime, Rosemary, all of our favorites are coming in. XRP Renegade, Marvin Davis, Stone's in the house. Coffee and Crypto with Stone, 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time on X Spaces. Go check that out. Awesome. Amy's in the house. Who else do we have in here, Simon? Kita, our favorite.
Miss Kita. I was going to say, how could you forget? Texas's brightest shining star, man. How could you forget Miss Kita?
A lot of stuff going down in Texas too. Verg's son, Tiara, and who else we've got? Susan Roblin, Darla, our little favorite prego ladies in the house. Welcome to Dip a Toe.
Wasn't the baby birthed last week?
No,
Who is that?
888 is in the house too.
Oh, okay. All right.
So no, I think it's any day now. I'm pretty sure we'll have
Rub
to
the ankles. Rub the ankles. If you rub the ankles, you can push the envelope.
Oh, Darla says it's tomorrow. It's tomorrow.
It's on the books. Put it on the blockchain. Forget it.
Prayers and well wishes, Darla. That's it. Super exciting. Super exciting.
Congratulations.
And, FML Florida Man Landscaping in the house. You guys are coming out. We love you guys so much. Super excited. James Ray Schmeckles. For those of you who aren't familiar, James Ray is a passionate XRPL evangelist who's been streaming about XRP and NFTs for over 3 years. He believes the Ledger's reserve reduction is a game changer and dreams of raising the bar for crypto projects with his Schmeckles token, all while geeking out over Rick and Morty. He's been hyping Schmeckles giveaways, moon halos, and Rick and Morty vibes while escaping the big C, which is chaos. Super excited. I don't know if you guys have ever joined a Schmeckles stream on Twitch, but we're actually streaming on Twitch. I did create my own account, and so he's the one that turned me on to that, and it's super fun. But why don't we get him in here?
Bring him on in, baby. Bring him on in.
Bring the Schmeckler.
Oh.
Hey, guys. What's happening?
Whoa.
Welcome to Dip a Toe. How are you,
ladies
James
and gentlemen? The thunder from down under. What's good, my man?
I'm so happy to be here. I said it to Simon just before that we went live, that I feel like I know both of you, Melissa and Simon, because I've been watching the Dip a Toe show for so long, seeing legends like Gotta Be. I have to give him a shout out straight up because, his interview with you guys was fantastic. I love whenever he's on your show. The Dip a Toe show is the place to be.
We love Greg.
Thank you for that.
He is one of my favorite people that I've met in this space. You won't meet a more genuine, kind person. You know, he's just a fantastic person. And as you know, he gives fantastic hugs.
He does. And I've actually been pushing him because we didn't have a cuddle on the couch when he was over here in Australia. So I'm heading over to Arkansas in November.
What?
And I am holding him down and cuddling him.
Oh,
I know.
I mean,
I know.
Gosh, you should have got him at the airport, man. That's the perfect time.
I should have. My daughter
all
got
jet
plenty
lag,
of cuddles with him.
not clear what's going on.
Yeah. By the end of the trip, my daughter was calling him dad. So he's just a lovely human being. His energy,
wow.
the impact on other people is just unbelievable. He's such a great guy.
Absolutely.
Your daughter was calling him dad?
She sure was. Yeah, it's crazy. But it just goes to show like how amazing he was. Like she definitely got plenty of cuddles with him, and he's just so chill, so relaxed. So his energy is just amazing. Both my dog and my daughter were in love with Greg, and they're both missing him, I'm sure, just like I am.
That's it's always great when you can meet in person. Are you going to the XRP Las Vegas?
I am not. No,
I mean, it's kind of far. I know that's the problem. You guys
hard.
are so far. That would be really expensive, but boy, it sure would be nice to meet you.
We do have a number of events in Australia. So the Wave of Innovation is one that was at last year. We're going to be there again this year. And there's a few other events that happen around Australia. So the Aussie ones are easy. I'm going to try and get to Apex in Singapore as well. So if you guys are going to head to that, it would be nice to catch up as well. But yeah, America just gets hard. So we've been planning to head over to the States to see Greg and his family. Other Schmeckles community members, but Vegas would be very hard to get to. But
when our ship comes in, right, then we'll all meet somewhere, and maybe it won't be America. Maybe it'll be somewhere more exotic.
Maybe Australia's pretty exotic.
Yeah.
It is.
I've
It
always
is.
wanted to go to Australia. I've always wanted to go.
You
So
swing through and get the tour of Caleb and Brown.
oh
Hey, you
yeah,
know what? That
I
would be a
never
great
even-
idea. Could you do
Mm.
an Australia crypto tour where you could just have like the open bus? Oh, and here's where the
The problem is Australia is so spread out. It's like all the people live on the border, like right near the ocean.
Yeah, around the water, right? Nobody wants to go into the middle.
Well, you Yanks, you Americans are in the middle. You've got all your army doing testing in the
That's
middle.
why they don't want to go in the middle.
Yeah,
Like, no. You
They're-
don't get the water. Yeah, you can come here, but you don't. No. You guys screw up your own beachfront property, not ours.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Sure.
Good stuff. Good stuff.
Well, I kind of I'm super interested. Well, first of all, I'm going to be transparent.
Mhm.
I don't watch Rick and Morty, and so the only time I've watched it is when it comes on after Ryan is a big Family Guy and American Dad guy, and Rick and Morty will come on after one of those shows, and I can't exactly remember when. But it is super interesting, and so I'm not overly knowledgeable about Rick and Morty, and so I kind of wanted a little bit of background. I mean, your project, your token's called Schmeckles. Tell us a little bit about like how you got this idea to come up with it and the significance of the Rick and Morty show that took you to where you're at now.
Yeah, so my wife and I are just massive Rick and Morty fans, so we've been following along since the first season. We fell in love with it, and I guess just the background on Rick and Morty, it's a very adult cartoon. Lots of adult ideologies are passed in it. There's a lot of geopolitical sort of ideologies that are thrown in. So it's very tongue-in-cheek. If you're not paying attention and you're not focusing, you'll miss a lot of the jokes. But it really makes you think and expand your knowledge. There's been so many little topics through Rick and Morty that I've actually gone and researched and dove down massive rabbit holes on. So I really do enjoy the show. There's some excellent writers that work for Rick and Morty, as well as some really, really famous voice artists. So you'd be shocked if you knew some of the voice artists that have been on Rick and Morty. But yeah, so it was back in November 2021. And my wife actually came up with the idea to call a token Schmeckles. And this is something that a lot of people don't know. I think Gottaby is the only person that knows that fact. So it's a little bit of alpha for everyone out there. So she
Break it on, dip a toe.
Exactly right. She said Schmeckles is a currency in Rick and Morty. Why don't we bring it to life? Why don't we put it on the XRP Ledger? At that time, I had known about XRP. I think it was about 2017 when I first got into XRP. And then the XRPL came around and we caught wind of it. I was on a website called xrpchat.com, which was just like a forum where we all sort of discussed the early days of XRP, and then learned about the XRPL. Back then, there wasn't much going on. There was like maybe Casino Coin, maybe XR Doge, I think were probably the two only projects that I really knew about back then. XR Doge did some dodgy things that happened around that time. So it made me just think, you know what? If these guys have come into this space and created something, and they've done it with such poor attitude, why can't we come and do it with a better attitude, with a more transparent and professional sort of approach? And that was the idea. So I guess this falls back into my background. So I am a university-trained civil engineer. I've worked in client-side project management in construction, running construction projects for the Australian government. So that's happened since I was 18. So it's been over 18 years of me doing that job. So I've worked with people like the Department of Defense. Right now, I'm working with Australia's only nuclear provider. So we create the medicine for people with lymph cancers, and we provide that medication for them, as well as do a lot of other science. So it's a really cool and sort of nerdy job that I have during the day. But of course, Schmeckles is my passion, and it's founded in the Rick and Morty, of course. So Schmeckles is a currency in the Rick and Morty cartoon that we've brought to life. We put it on the XRPL, but it comes with a tag, right? So it's not just about a meme token. It's not just about a token. It's not just about Rick and Morty, but it's about the ideology that we're adults, we're trading, and we're putting money where our mouth is in a lot of aspects. But it's not just about the seriousness. It's about falling in love with life again. It's about getting creative. It's about being our childish selves again, reimagining what life can be. Because often we find ourselves growing through life and falling into these consistent tracks that what he's talking about. You've got the best show on the XRP Ledger, and you want to say that you've fallen into a hole? No, you guys are doing it perfect. You guys are doing it right. But I want to help other people to realize that it doesn't matter about your circumstances. You've got your life in your hands, and you can create and do whatever you put your mind to. And sometimes it's just about letting people know that and giving them the permission to really break through and become whoever they can be, whoever they want to be. Exactly right. Dream again, be creative, be childish, have fun, listen to music, dance around, be silly, be chaotic. That's all about the Schmeckles message to the people. And we're doing it while we're still remaining professional, while we're still doing everything with integrity, while we're doing everything with transparency. And I can dive into what I mean by that as we go on through this chat. Yeah,
man, I love your spirit. I love your personality and your enthusiasm. It's super engaging and fun, and it is inspiring. It does inspire you to, like I said, I don't even really watch cartoons. But you're
really
making
missing out, dude.
You're making me want to go watch Rick and Morty.
Do it.
You've piqued my interest for sure, because I know some of these other cartoons also have like little hidden messages or truth bombs that they're dropping, and it's quite interesting that they're allowed to get away with some of the stuff that they get away with, where regular TV, they can't really say some of these things, but because it is a cartoon, I suppose people will take it with a grain of salt, but yet they're actually telling you something that you should be giving attention.
100%.
So wait a minute, hold on. I mean, I know we gotta flow to the show here, but I'm gonna do a short pause here. Melissa, are you suggesting in a roundabout way that if we all of a sudden became animated, we could say whatever the hell we want? Is that what you're saying?
Maybe we ought to become
tell like it is.
Future Dipito show idea. Let's do it.
Wow, man. All right. I'm gonna talk with the AI about that. Hey, how can I get my physical self into animation?
I've seen Divi, one of the projects that Simon and I both followed several years back. Yeah. I've noticed that their live streams, they do have animated characters, and so they have like the three of them talking, but they're animated. And I'm like, I don't know how they do it, but I think it is pretty interesting. And cool. I don't know, maybe we could get away with some. Marvin Davis said, smash that like button. Huh?
Do it.
Smash the button. Hit the button. So James, you said your wife's the one that actually kind of came up with the idea of using the Schmeckles, which, hats off to your wife. I think it's fantastic that she's involved, right? Because a lot of us have better halves that are like not into it at all. Like they're living through us. They're getting the information through us, but they're not quite into it. So for her to come up with an actual idea and, be supportive in that way is fantastic. I think it's great.
Most definitely. So back then she had the time, but now we've got our little daughter, Sophia. And so her hands are mostly tied. But she's just so supportive. She does all the things behind the scenes that a lot of people don't know she's doing and they don't see her doing. So I couldn't do what I do if it wasn't for her. So every time I'm on the screen, she's looking after the little one. She's cooking me dinner, things like that. So my wife is just an absolute, like she is part of the foundation of this project. She's part of the foundation of allowing me to do what I do and to spend so much time with the community, which is what I really love and what I'm really passionate about.
Well, I think
I got one of those too.
Yes, you do.
I know what that's like. I got one of those too, man. And it's just like, that I remember that saying as a youngster, behind every great man is an even greater woman. And I got the evidence for life to prove that time and time again.
You're calling yourself a great man, Simon?
Yes, he is.
But my wife would. I got a great wife. I got a great wife. I know I do.
Yes, you do.
I mean, maybe a little bit. I have my moments.
So I'm curious, James. So Rick and Morty being, such a popular show, like everybody knows about it. Like, what kind of hoops did you have to jump through in order to get the approval? Because I mean, we can't just go out. I mean, that's got to be like, that had to be difficult for you to navigate through, or was it easy? I don't know.
Yeah, you'd be surprised. So we've got our logo, our original logo. So it's one that you had on the main photo for this stream. So that original logo is from the Rick and Morty cartoon. It's an adaptation that we created, and we just sent it off to them, to Adult Swim, to Cartoon Network, and to the Rick and Morty team. Just asked for their approval to use it, and they gave us back a document within like a week, giving us the approval to use that for merchandise and for sales. So we have that official approval. We have that document. It's locked in. Now, that's pretty much where it's limited, though. So that is where the connection with Rick and Morty ends. So a bit of a background about Rick and Morty. There are two creators. One is by the name of Dan Harmon. The other is by the name of Justin Roiland. Unfortunately, Justin Roiland had some legal issues in the last couple of years, which led to him being kicked off the cartoon. So he's no longer involved in Rick and Morty. So as a result, which is really unfortunate, we actually had a great connection with Justin Roiland's team, and we were developing and connecting and building towards this future with Rick and Morty and Schmeckles being connected. However, with him moving away, we've sort of lost that contact. Now, we've been in contact with Rick and Morty multiple times. We've engaged with them like thousands of times. They know what we're doing. They are aware of what we're doing. They just do not want to be a part of what we're doing, unfortunately. So I've gotten to the stage now with the project where I actually believe we're going to be way bigger than Rick and Morty ever will be. So I think we're going to leapfrog them. And maybe at that stage, we will see them wanting to come on board and being interested in what we're doing. But regardless, we're in a really safe space. This is probably a perfect time to introduce that Schmeckles actually do have international lawyers by the name of Gilbert and Tobin. So our lawyers are aware of all of this, and they're monitoring it, and they're really comfortable and happy with the way we've approached it. We've got all the documentation, we've got all the contact details and all of that. So we're in a very, very safe space as far as legalities, and we have a kick-ass legal team to back us up.
Love it, man. That's fire. I'm glad that you're sharing with us here on the Dip a Toe, because what you just shared, all you Dip a Toers out there, go back and rewind what he just said. He's giving you full transparency of being in the lane, right? Meme coin, it's a scam, it's a joke. This ain't no joke. Even if it was a joke, it's a legal beagle joke. Right, did all the right things, got all the right dominoes in the right places to keep on moving forward. And also, James, I think that's great that you initially got that blessing and that you're still pursuing those open lines of communications. And I would also agree with you that you'll do the leapfrog, because when building a coin, a project, a brand, right? It's near and dear, right? You're going to be real cautious later in the future of who you participate with, and it'll be a slow progression. You probably won't show up until the lights go on if the shoes were on, if the roles were reversed per se. But, so I totally agree with you on that. Play Dip a Toe.
That's hilarious. I wish
that's a nod to our Twitch stream.
we should have done a giveaway today. I didn't even think about it. But that's how you play on the Twitch stream. When he's doing his game show, you hit !play, and then it loads up your marble, and it's super cool. Right. I love it so much.
Are you addicted?
Am I addicted?
Yes. Are you addicted yet? Are you addicted to?
I've been 3 times now, so I'm like, damn it! Every time he's like, "We'll be freezing," and I'm like, I'll be doing something else. Like I try to multitask, you guys, all the time. I'm multitasking, but I'm like, I got it on my phone, and I'm like, okay, he's telling me that he's loading up the thing. I got to do the iPlay thing, and then I'm doing it. And then he's like, "We will be free, come out of nowhere." And I'm like, "Oh my gosh, I'm gonna win." And he's like, "Oh, sorry." I'm like, "Damn it!"
It's the chaos of it all, isn't it? Yeah. It's, you were so close yesterday as well. I was like, please let her win so we can talk about it on the show. But
no,
you have some fantastic prizes on there too. But before we get to that, what I wanted to know, I wanted to touch on your tokenomics. So, so I just wondered, like, am I correct in it? Is 1 million is your token, is the amount, the 1 million?
Was 1 million.
Okay. So it's okay.
So in November 2021, we launched with 1 million tokens, but we black hole that. So do you guys know what black holing a token on the XRP Ledger means?
I do, but please explain it for the audience.
Yeah, for sure. So black holing means you are locking that account, so that account cannot be accessed any longer. So what that means is you cannot issue any further tokens, and all the settings that you apply to that token are locked into the XRP Ledger. So we can't issue any more Schmeckles. So it was 1 million minted originally, and that's it. So there's no more Schmeckles that can be issued. Now, beyond that, because they lock that account, if you send tokens back to the account, they get locked up too. So it lowers the overall supply, and therefore the supply starts to reduce. So that's why we say Schmeckles has a deflationary supply, because we have a black hole account. So like I said, we launched with 1 million tokens, but in the last 3 years, 3 months, and however many days it's been, we have burned over 45% of them. So our supply is currently down to 541,000. So it's been a lot of burns, and it's a big part of what we do at Schmeckles. So you guys obviously know about the res. So you've had them on the Dipper Toe show. So Patrick Riley's Reaper project as an example. So we were one of the first projects to be approved by their organization to be listed as a token to be reaped. So that means that people that hold RPR tokens can use their tokens to vote for Schmeckles, and the Reaper project will convert those votes into an XRP amount, which is then used to market, buy, and burn the Schmeckles tokens. So that we've been doing that for over I think about 3 years, actually. It's been a long time, a lot of burns just through the Reaper. Over time, they've also introduced the Ascension Index, which is a very similar concept. People with ASC tokens can then use those to vote for Schmeckles, but instead of burning the tokens, the votes get converted to XRP amount, which is used to market, buy, and distribute the tokens to ASC holders. So that's another element to Schmeckles. So if you want an ASC holder, you will receive daily drops of Schmeckles tokens. Yes, Simon.
On that, so in the Ascension, where you vote for Schmeckles are then acquired, then sold, and then for XRP, and then XRP.
No, so they're not sold; they're actually distributed.
Okay.
So
okay, all right, perfect. So
to the ASC holders, that's right.
All right, sorry.
The third token, or the third arm of the res, is the Pillars project, PLR. And again, it's the same concept. You use your PLR tokens to vote for Schmeckles. Those votes are converted to an XRP amount, but that XRP amount actually becomes a floor price for the Schmeckles project, for the Schmeckles token, I should say.
Oh, nice.
So we have a floor based on the PLR, the Pillars project. And if any Schmeckles tokens are sold into that floor, they actually burn those tokens. So Schmeckles will never go to zero thanks to the Pillars project. Obviously, there's the AMM amendment that came out in the last year on the XRPL. Are you guys familiar with the automatic market maker amendment to the XRP Ledger? Simon's
we are,
nodding,
but
not.
No, I am. But I would love for you to expand on it for the Dipper-toers out there. We have 105 people in the house.
Welcome, everyone.
I want to say hello to Thanks Gary, Toasty's in the house. Who else did I see? Lisa A just joined us. Thank you guys so much for coming. I think I saw Lady K in here somewhere.
Lady K's in the house.
Oh, cool.
We got Lisa A too, representing the West Coast out here.
Yeah,
unreal, guys. Welcome.
Yeah, Mrs. and 8888. Welcome. So yeah, if you would expand on that, that would be fantastic.
Can I just stop for a second? You just said Mrs. and 8888. I called this person that name for a year before I realized it's actually Mr. Dan. He's actually now one of my good friends, a guy called Will. He is
Mr. Sand. It's
one
Mr.
of the
Sand.
Moderators for Schmeckles. Yeah,
that's hilarious.
I just love that you made the same mistake I did.
I apologize, Mr. Sand 888. That's hilarious.
It is funny. So
I'm
AMM,
just loving you.
The automatic
AMM.
market maker. So the idea behind it is you, like for Schmeckles as an example, is you submit 50% in Schmeckles, 50% in XRP to the same USD value into the AMM. Then in return, you will receive something called LP tokens. LP stands for liquidity provider tokens. So you create an automatic market for your token. So when people trade, they're not dependent on the order book. Now, the order book is the traditional way to trade any tokens, any cryptos. So you sort of say, I want to buy one Schmeckle for, let's say, 0.95 XRP. I want to get it nice and cheap. I want to get it less than the market value. That was the traditional way to purchase. But now with the AMM, it actually will settle orders if they're within the range of the low and the high. And the AMM sort of works in between that range. Now, the AMM can settle transactions on its own. It doesn't have to rely on the order book, but generally they work in parallel to sort of become the market for tokens on the XRP ledger. Why it's so significant is outside of the XRPL, AMMs or market makers aren't native to blockchain. So the XRP ledger has this native AMM, which is superior to many market makers out there. And we have it as like just straight out of the box. You launch a token, your AMM is available and ready to be used. Now it's a fantastic metric as well. So when you're marketing your token, or if you're onboarding new people, your AMM then has a value behind it. So right now, the Schmeckles AMM sitting at about 15% of our overall market cap. Now that's a strong metric. People are generally looking for anything over 10% in liquidity behind a token if they're looking to buy a new token. So what that will mean is as, let's say, everybody at once just all hit the sell button, the AMM will be able to catch all of that to 10% of that overall market cap if people don't withdraw their liquidity from the AMM itself. Now, it gets complicated the more you dive into it, but that's sort of the guts of it. That's the general summary. So we have our AMM. We've got about 15% of our market cap in there. But there's other elements to the Schmeckles token. So everything we build, all our products that come outside of the token, always come back in to support the token. And what we mean by that is we have 7 NFT collections as an example. All of them have a 5% royalty, which means when they sell, 5% of that sale value will come back to the project. Now, we grab that XRP and we use it to market, buy, and burn Schmeckles. So we are helping to provide a uplift in a buy on the token, but we're also reducing the supply at the same time. Now, that's just one of the ways we do it. We do other things. So we have these great burn events happening. We've had so many burn events in the past, but we've got one that's current. And again, it's just sort of, it's pushing the community to do something with their XRP rather than just hold it. And in this instance, we're saying if you buy XRP, if you use XRP to buy Schmeckles, in return, you'll get some physical limited edition products. And these are some of the products that we're going to get out. So there's a community member in both the Res as well as the Schmeckles community called Dag Woodius. I don't know if he's been in here before, but he's created these awesome.
Yeah, I've seen those. Yeah, those are fire. Yeah, I saw. Yeah.
We want to get them out to the community's hands. So we thought, what better way than to stimulate some volume in the Schmeckles project, as well as to destroy some tokens. And it's a way that they can pay under the value of the actual product, but also get that product into their hands in a way that supports the project. So this is just the idea we have behind everything. The same with our Twitch streams. So on our Twitch streams, we have a prize wheel called the Whirly Durly. Some people may spin that and land on a slice, which actually burns Schmeckles. So that comes out of my personal supply. I guess another thing that I should have added earlier is Schmeckles is fully distributed. So the project remains to only hold 1,000 of them for giveaways, and we buy them back whenever that amount drops down. But the project isn't holding like a 20-30% chunk like you see in a lot of other tokens. We wanted to get the tokens into the community's hands. We did that through free distributions, which was very silly in hindsight, because it resulted in people selling and reducing the value of those tokens. But we've built that back over the years. And that's the beauty of this project, is we've been through a bear market. We still remain, and we're still building strong.
Can I ask a question? So the information that I got was the 1 million, you started with 1 million, 50% were airdrop, 25% for giveaways, and burns, like with the Reaper, the res that you're talking about. Is that accurate? How it initially started?
Yeah, so that's right. So the initial starting idea was we wanted to get 50% out to the community through giveaways. We wanted 25% to remain with the project and 25% for other dev related building ideas. However, we ended up distributing 75% and we burnt the other 25% because we're absolute maniacs. We just thought that was the best case scenario for people holding Schmeckles. And that's the way my mind always thinks, is what's the best thing for the community. It's never about my pocket. Like I said at the beginning of this interview, I've got a really good job that I've been working in for a really long time. So I earn my money elsewhere. I don't take my money from the Schmeckles project. I put so much money into the Schmeckles project because I want to see the community win. I want to see the community happy, and I want to give them something that they can believe in, where there's not only just a product, but there's an ideology around it.
Yeah, so God, I got so many questions. There's two things. Number one, I guess, would you do it differently? Would you set it up if you were going to create a token from scratch again? Would you do it the same, or would you change it? And then my second question is, I would love for you to go in more detail on the importance and significance of burning these tokens, because you've mentioned it a lot. That's a big backbone of your project, and I want the Dipatoers to understand why you're burning the token and what that means for them if they are a Schmeckles holder.
Yeah, so for sure. So sorry, Melissa, the first question was around...
The first question was, would you do it again the same way? Right. Yeah.
I'd do it different, because what we did, sillily, but this is what we did back then in the XRPL. It wasn't just Schmeckles, it was everybody, is you just distribute it to anyone who sets a trust line. So on the XRP Ledger, if you want to hold a token, you need to create trust with that project by setting a trust line. When that trust line is set, the project can see that it's set, and we can distribute tokens to those people. So that's how we did it. The issue with that, and it's just the issue with any financial item in all of life, if you receive something for free, you don't respect it. And that's what we found. People received these products for free, and as a result, they just got rid of them. They wanted to get their XRP back and move away. So that's definitely something that we would 100% do different. We would not give things away for free. We would probably create competitions and do giveaways where there's a competitive nature to the thing that they're winning, so they feel like they've earned it. Because if you earn something, you're more than likely to cherish it. So this is the mistake that we made. But like I said, it wasn't just us. It was every single token. This was just the standard thing to do on the XRP Ledger at the time. But if I had my time again, I wouldn't do it. So what ended up happening, and like I said, Schmeckles is about full transparency, is when we did those airdrops, we had bot farms or account farms, whatever, however you want to label them. But it's just like an individual who created 1,000 accounts, whatever it was, and they all received that airdrop, and then they just compile it into one wallet and sell it all, and they've been selling it over the years. So those sales for the first like year and a half, 2 years were quite frequent. Now we never see them, which is fantastic. We've sort of moved away from those people who farmed our token originally, but it's something that a lot of tokens never recovered from. A lot of tokens ended up rugging or leaving and moving away because they couldn't compete with these people who were looking maliciously to take value away from projects. So yeah, so that was the mistake. Now the burn, to go to the second question, why the burn is so significant. So if you have 100 of something, and then all of a sudden 99 of them disappear and there's only one of that something left, but there's still 100 people that want that one something. Now there's competition. So it's the whole ideology of supply versus demand. If there is a remaining demand and the supply is reducing, then that demand is going to drive a higher value. So it's just a very basic economic sort of ideology that we wanted to implement into Schmeckles. So we've done this already. So the demand has been there. Demand, we're trying to increase that demand. And I believe with what's happening now. So for example, we're talking about the SEC court case, SEC removing their appeal. So we're going to see a lot of people hearing about XRP. We're going to hear people getting involved in the XRP Ledger because they're going to want to use their XRP. So we're hoping that this demand is going to increase as our supply continues to decrease. And then I guess you can do the math in between of what we believe will happen. So this is all about creating limited edition type products. Everything we do, we try and make it limited. We've got Dag Woodius's tokens, limited edition. We've got physical products, like we have a card game that we have, which is based or with our NFT collection. So you can get all of these cards in NFTs, but you can also get them in card versions. And now we had the community vote on whether they wanted to make this product a limited edition. It was voted as a limited edition. So now there's no more of them being created. So all those people who have got their hands on these cards, all of a sudden they have a really rare Schmeckles merch item that maybe in the future might have a lot more value than when they received
I was just gonna say, I'm like, when baseball cards here in the States first came out, if you got any one of those, it could be the worst player of all time. But because you got the card, it's worth $1.5 million,
crazy, right?
Or whatever,
and,
right? Yeah.
And for me, it's not baseball cards, but it was Pokemon cards, and that's what I grew up with. And we had Tarzos as well, and we had all these collectibles. So I was an 80s baby, spent most of my childhood in the 90s, but it was all about these physical collectible products that I just loved. I was obsessed with. And it's one of the things that I do now with the XRP Ledger. When someone releases a limited edition physical product, I want to get my hands on it. What is it? How can I get it? I've got like silver coins in my safe that have like the XRPL logo on it and like XRP logo with like the Ripple settlement. Yeah, Melissa's got it as well. So there's all these things that I love personally. And what I'm learning and what Simon touched on before is with this digital space, you're finding these like-minded people all around the world who believe in the same things that you believe in, who grew up the same way you grew up, and they have that same passion for these collectible items. Now, we've got the physical collectibles, but we've also got the digital collectibles. Again, it's easier. There's no shipping involved. There's no risk of it getting damaged, but we've got like these one-of-one NFTs where you're getting our artists, the Urban Monk Studio, Wesley and Shannon, two absolute legends who have worked with the likes of Marvel and Sony and are now working with Schmeckles. It's just, it blows my mind every time I think about it. But they're creating this kick-ass art that we're providing to the community. And it's just so much fun. I just love being in this seat. I love being involved in the Schmeckles project. It's just so on brand with who I am, how I grew up, and hopefully with how the community feel as well.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the enthusiasm that you have and the way that you explain it, it really, I mean, it's got my wheels turning. You know, at some point there'll be a dip-a-toe show token, you know, in thinking about all of the different ways to put it together. And that's kind of why I asked you initially, like, you know, if you could do it differently, would you have done it differently? You know, and
so a great example, Melissa, might be like if viewers come to the Dip-a-Toe show, they rewarded in part of the token. So the work that they're getting involved in would be being present and giving their time, and they're rewarded with a token. So they're going to feel like they earn that token, right? It's not just given to them for free. They traded their time for the token. Now, all of a sudden, you've got this value that will remain within the token because they feel like it has value.
Yeah. And, you know, like I remember a long time ago listening to David Schwartz talk about the micro payments, you know, really, that being a very significant thing. And I know platforms like Odyssey and like the Brave browser, you know, the basic attention token, the whole concept of paying you to watch. So it's like, it's turning advertising and marketing on its head, in reversing it so that the person is getting paid for the amount of time that they spend on your page or whatever. And depending on what platform you're using, it's given to you either as a token or a coupon or a discount card, or, you know, depending on whatever. You know, my mother-in-law the AARP wants her to play games on their app, and they're giving her discounts. She keeps trying to get us to play the AARP games on the app because they give, she's earning points, and then the points then turns into something of value. And so I feel like we're all kind of, I've said it before, and I wish I could think of a better word than guinea pig, but we're the ones that are out here grinding and testing all this stuff out. And so it's really cool that you've come up with a concept that all is kind of working together, and you're using real world things like your cards and your t-shirts and hats. And what are those coins made out of, by the way?
They're timber. They're wood.
They're timber,
and they're laser etched.
Cool.
Yeah.
That's just really cool. That's a tchotch. What do they call it? My brother's somebody that collects tchotch.
I have no idea what tchotch is.
Yeah,
Simon, help me out here.
No, they're like
no, that's the East Coast thing, man. I'm on the West Coast.
It is like, back in the day, everybody had tchotch. It's like you put it in your windowsills, you have curio cabinets, you've got shelving.
Oh, you're talking the material. Okay.
Yeah, and maybe I'm using the wrong word, but I think it's called tchotch. But I mean, these are little collectible fun things that, for one reason or another, it resonates with someone. So if you're part of the Schmeckles gang and you come to your shows every week, you're hanging out with your friends and you're playing a game, and you're winning some prizes, and you are actually supporting other projects on the ledger because you're giving them a voice. And I noticed, I appreciate you talking about Dip a Toe on your show. That helps us because, we're cross-pollinating. And so I see your project as also onboarding possibly new user. Yeah. I mean, is that part of your strategy also? Because I heard last night, I heard a lady didn't have a wallet. She won several prizes that just went back in. And finally, she created a wallet to collect her prize.
Spot on. And this is part of who I am, right? So this is almost away from the Schmeckles project. I fucking love the XRP Ledger. I love it so much. I have so much fun on the XRP Ledger. I have so many friends that I've created through the XRP Ledger. It is really a space where I can be myself and be not only welcomed, but almost encouraged and lifted up for being who I am. And I've never really felt that way in my life before. And for some reason, the XRP Ledger, the people that are involved here are really so similar-minded to me. Of course, you've got the scammers. You've got a lot of people who are different. Don't get me wrong, people that I probably don't agree with. But the origin of it is that there's not this tribalism that you find on a lot of other blockchains. And I wonder if it's Brad. It might be Brad. Brad's message is always about get rid of the tribalism. It's all going to be interoperable in the future. So just drop that bullshit and let's just focus on the tech. Let's focus on growing together. 100%. Yeah, 100%.
Well, and it's people like you. It's people like Greg. It's people like Stone. All of the people, Amanda, Optimistic Pride, Lady
XP
Market, all of these people, they all have the uplifting spirit and wanting to teach and help each other grow. And while there is a lot of negative in the world, I agree with you. Like you can make your life how you want it to be, and have fun and have an upbeat attitude, and that's going to draw those people towards you. And when you're spending your time hanging out with people that are like that, the outside world doesn't affect you like it does others. If you're surrounding yourself in all the crap, and so it's like, hey, I don't know what you guys are doing over there, but we're having a blast over here, and we're building stuff, and we're working together and uplifting, Exactly so right. I mean, hats off to you.
100%. So just to go back to what you said, so that's a big part of the stream is we buy NFTs, we buy tokens of other projects because we want to celebrate the entire XRP Ledger, and then we give them away for free. And then you get legends like Stone and like Greg who provide us with tokens, and they're like, you give them away to the community because we love what you're doing. We love that we have a voice through you on your stream, so we're going to try and get involved. So Stone's with X Meme, and then Greg is with a fantastic project. I'm going to shill it here because I know you guys have interviewed him before, but just in case someone doesn't know, Greg runs a project. He's the CEO of a project called ARC. And what ARC does is like I was talking about with the Reaper project, with the Ascension project, with the Pillar project, they have the same concept. You have ARC tokens, but instead of voting for a crypto project, you're actually voting for real world charities. And those votes get converted to XRP or potentially to USD, dependent on the charity. And the charity is getting real money. So your crypto and your vote is actually being converted to a charitable donation. And I just can't think of anything more beautiful than that. It is like the perfect combination of technology as well as the charitable ideology of helping others. Because when you help others, you feel really good about yourself. And I just love it every single time I get this little recap and I see there's hundreds of dollars going to charities and helping them out, doing great things. Greg's so great with posting things about those charities. So like the Raising Men, you're seeing these young people
Love that.
going and mowing lawn. And it's just so fantastic. And I can't wait to see what ARC is going to do in the future.
You know what I really find needed, fascinating, and appreciated is exactly what you're talking about, where here on the XRPL, you can create any project you want. The ARC project, awesome project. But, it's not like the old days where, there would be some a tragedy, right? And everybody, there'd be a what do they call it, a call-a-thon or something like that, where you'd have to break out the old corded phone and you'd call in and donate. Like that's as far as you got. This takes it to that level where you're all coming together as a community with a mutual desire to help without all the bureaucracy in the stuff that can at least take place here in the States. I don't know how it is down under, but we're not having to get permission from mom and dad. We are mom and dad, right? We're mom and dad, and we get to, hey, we like this charity. Let's go for it. Let's throw them a bone or two and keep that going. And we also get to see that done in real time. We can follow the money on the blockchain or the ledger in real time. Right? There's that transparency, right? And the appreciation of individuals like Patrick, like Greg, like yourself, that are building, really that are building. Some are for fun. Some have a deep rooted purpose, but they all cross pollinate, like what you're talking about. And I mean, Stone is really good about bringing up the other awareness around these projects and these developers. And
so sorry, guys. I don't know if you can hear me, but I've lost audio completely.
Oh, I can hear you.
Yeah, we can hear you. We can.
We can hear you. Let's go private chat. I'm gonna go private chat with him real quick.
Private chat with him. It's definitely something that is unique in the XRP community, how well everybody is working together when you compare it to other chains that are out there. I don't know if he needs to leave and come back.
Just let him work it out. See what's good.
Let him work it out.
Work it out, girl. Dun, 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 dun,
Yeah, the thing that I like is, so here you have experienced people that have been building building projects for over 3 years now. He's been building this Schmeckles project, and going through all of the hoops to get to where he wants to be, and it's remarkable. And one thing I want to say, we have 167. You gonna let him in? We have 167 people listening. Are you back?
I'm back, and I can hear you guys.
Oh, was it this? I don't know
what happened.
He is probably playing with his buttons and muted it.
No, it wasn't. It wasn't. I swear it wasn't. I have no idea what happened then. I've just shut down a few little applications because I do have a whole bunch of things open. Maybe
right? Yeah, that's a problem of mine. I have like so many tabs open. I'm like, what's going on there? What's going on there?
I was just
comments. Hey, we're back here.
Yeah. I was just saying we have 170 people watching now. Dipitoers. Please like, share, and subscribe if you're not subscribed to the Dipito Show. Dipito Show on X and at Dipito on both Rumble and YouTube and Facebook. We really need to get our numbers up so we can get the algorithm so that people actually know that we exist, because we have so many great interviews, so many great people like James Ray in the Schmeckles project. And it'd be just awesome to be able to share it with more people. So if you guys would please like, share, and subscribe, even if you got to go off and go do it, it'd be super cool to get like 10 more people at least. We're over 600 now, so that's pretty awesome. But the one thing, the other thing I wanted to say is that, now we got 172 people. For the dip-a-toers listening that might just have come across this channel, this is a perfect example of, showing people are building real world things. Crypto, there's a lot of people that are out there that are scared about crypto. They think it's just, 2112. Oh, you're so nice. I can't believe you put that up there, Simon.
I had to. I wouldn't be your homie if I didn't.
I was waiting for Melissa to say that's my husband or something.
I was like, did Ryan just get on, dude? Did he just create an account? Let's go.
Anyways, no, but I just want to say that there are real things being built and people that are very serious about it, and we are kind of the guinea pigs of the crypto space. We're trying to figure out how things work. And like James Ray said, he started his project. There's things that he would have done different, but he's still here. Over 3 years later, he's still here. And not only is he still here, he's lifting up other people in the community, and they can look to him and see what kind of challenges he faced. And maybe they won't, maybe when I create one, I won't make the same mistakes, or, somebody else that creates one won't make the same mistakes that he made. And it's not a mistake if you learn something, I mean, it's a value. These are valuable lessons. And, when you approach something as being fun, and I really do feel like the opportunity to replace traditional marketing and give back to the person watching is an awesome concept. Now, how it all turns into real money, like where I say like where it's really gonna, because I think of like, hey, if we can. Somebody built something too. I heard Lady K was telling me that BuildX, that's on Twitter, X, he built something that for what's his name? Oh my gosh, I'm gonna forget. I'm totally was gonna give him a shout out to Spiffy. Spiffy has music on Spotify, and he is building something that where if people listen to his song, it will pay them in Spiffy coin.
Oh, that's cool.
Automatically, right? And so that is going to push his algorithm and his listenership up on Spotify, pay the person that's listening, and then maybe they'll turn around and use that to get into a private concert or something from his, or put it towards merchandise like what you do with yours. And so the sky's the limit. It just matters like your imagination of what you can do, right? I mean,
definitely. Yeah, 100%. And there's new tools being built all the time. There's new amendments to the XRP Ledger. So this is one of the things about this space, is because it's a technological space, there's always new developments, always. So it's not only about learning how to do things correctly, but it's also keeping up with the new things that are being released. So there's so much happening. There's so many brilliant minds in this space. And I'm just so very much looking forward to the growth of this space and seeing more people come in with new ideas, new concepts, and putting them to work, and seeing the communities that gather around it. I saw Toasty posted a comment just earlier, real world assets. That's a new big thing on the XRP Ledger. Ripple's been talking about it a lot. I can't wait to see what's going to happen there. There's so many opportunities there, and crypto, hopefully the XRP Ledger as well, we're going to move into everyday life, right? It's going to be there for everyone. I'll try again. 100 Schmeckles for giveaways tonight.
Huh?
James, come up with giveaways however you want.
We can do the spinny. We can do the spinny wheel. Gotta be your awesome. That would be fantastic.
That's unreal.
We can definitely do that in this next hour. That would be so fun. We
We'll
can
work
use
something out.
the what you call it wheel the random picker.
Wheel
Yeah,
of Names, yeah,
the real world assets is a big deal.
definitely.
And I feel like we've been playing around, or people would think when it comes to NFTs and these meme tokens and stuff, people think it's all just playing around. Well, you're kind of playing around with something that's going to be a big deal in the future and the way that we do business. And so it's
100%.
not really playing around, is it?
Well, I often think of the current XRPL and the past XRPL as a testing space, right? So we are really stress testing this technology.
Proof of concept.
Whenever there's a new big user interface. So if you think about First Ledger, have you guys heard about First Ledger as a token launching website? So when First Ledger first came onto the XRPL, they broke the XRP Ledger. They created so many transactions that the XRPL infrastructure couldn't keep up. So as a result, more infrastructure was implemented, and now the XRPL is humming along perfectly. So these things will happen, and it will happen with time. And if it's not for us here testing things out, finding bugs, submitting them for amendments, voting on amendments, having the amendments passed, if all of that didn't happen, then there wouldn't be a trialed and tested space for the real big money to come in and put it to work and put it into practice in what they've already got as a product or as a service. But yeah, it's all about us doing this testing, being on the floor and really getting stuck in. Like Melissa said, NFTs have so much potential, from legal documentation to really silly images. It's and everything in between, right? So the NFTs are a fantastic thing that we've seen develop through the years on the XRP Ledger. A lot of people were back in the days of the 14 NFTs. I can't even think of the names anymore. But yeah, so the progression of NFTs has been something that's really easy to track and see. And now we're in a space where you can just create an NFT directly on the XRP Ledger and trade that with other people. So there's going to be continuous developments in this space. Real world assets is the new hot topic. So I'm really excited to see where it builds and where it grows to.
And the other thing for those of you that are new to crypto and you stumbled upon the Dipito show, this is your opportunity to participate in the future, work through things, test things out. You're learning, and part of the reward for doing that is being in the know of these new projects that are up and coming, or bigger projects like XRP Ledger, XLM, XDC, these types of things. You are going to be able to, maybe not financial advice, as we said at the top of the show, but you might be inclined to get into one of these and get yourself a little bag where by the time that this is all ironed out and it's good to go and the green light's on, you won't be able to enter in. So we're kind of getting paid with opportunity is the way I see it. And so therefore I feel like it is worth giving my time and attention to, because I'm growing, I'm meeting a ton of people, and it is the future. And plus, it's just super exciting to be able to say, I was there when, there's the one fella that's always screaming, it says like, where were you when, what did you do when you tell your family? You know what I mean? Yeah, I'm going to be the one that's going to say, I was there and I had a Dipito show, me and Simon, and you can go watch it on the replay, brah.
So I got a question in regards to, I guess, Schmeckles, and maybe more of on a business personal level. What is the future, or what do you see as the future with Schmeckles, or is there some other project that maybe you are or are not working on yet because of Schmeckles that you're looking towards the future?
So yeah, so the future for Schmeckles is always about being on the cutting edge of amendments for the XRP Ledger. So it's a way that I can personally grow and learn about what's happening and putting it into practice. So that's always been what the Schmeckles ideology is as far as the XRPL tech. We want to see
Gotcha.
what it is and try and put it into practice. So we want to be there trial and testing these new amendments so we can provide feedback. And that's something on to what Melissa was saying earlier. It's not just about using and trialing these products, but it's also about finding the issues, or when you experience an issue, giving that feedback back to the project so they can then go and fix it and make the place a better, better space for everybody and for all future people. So there's a responsibility in the community's hands as well. Most people just want to be here and think that this is the final end point and everything's perfect, but it's not. Yeah. Things are always moving, developing, changing, and that's where Schmeckles is. Because we're not defined by a specific utility or a specific product, we can always be flexible with what we do. And it's always revolved around our community. We have a DAO vote. So a DAO vote is when people use their Schmeckles to make a vote on any topic in particular. We do it a lot with our artworks, like what ideas do you have for the upcoming NFT collection release? And that way the community can tell us what they want so we can give them what they want. But you can use that element for absolutely anything. So when we have major project developments, for example, we did a burn of like 200,000 USD worth of Schmeckles. So when we did that, we gave it to the community. What should we do with these? Are you happy for us to burn them? Everyone's like, yeah, let's burn them. So we did a big event and we burned all the Schmeckles that the project was holding at the time. And not only does that work as a promotional tool, but it's also, you know what, it's us interacting with our community, giving them a voice, giving them an opportunity to speak up and be involved in the way we move forward with our direction. But like I said, the beauty about Schmeckles is we can be super flexible, Simon. So what I'm always interested in is what is happening on the XRPL and how can we implement that into Schmeckles to make Schmeckles go up that next level, as well as to test things and educate the Schmeckles community about what's available and what the potential opportunities are coming to the XRP Ledger. Because I do truly believe the XRPL is the place to be, and it's going to be doing so many things in the real world, in the old business trade, but it might not just be at the forefront. So people may not see it. It might sit behind, and everything that they're seeing on like a trade perspective is how they've been doing it forever. But you're going to have more efficient, safer and cheaper technology running these things behind the scenes. And that's really what got me hooked on XRP to begin with, to be completely honest.
You know, it's fire that you're literally, maybe you know this, maybe you don't, maybe you've made the correlation, maybe you haven't, but you're literally taking your construction project manager, skills, right? Bringing them to the tech space. And, Schmeckles is Schmeckles, but I'm thank you for sharing that about what Schmeckles really is actually, and you're really highlighting something that I don't think really gets highlighted in this light, and that is it's a continuation of testing the system and the technology out for global use, right? So when you think about, or when I think about, hey, I'm going to be a part of the Schmeckles community, there's a bigger purpose, not just, hey, look what I got, haha, funny. It's a, hey, we're going to run simulation in real time, in real life, right? We're going to see how this works. Okay, we're doing limited edition deck of cards. Well, maybe in the future, that's limited edition, second gen Michael Jordan shoes signed by him, et cetera, right? You know what I'm saying? Like it replaced the one thing with another. It's proof of concept again and again and again, finding the problems and running up the food chain saying, Brad, this don't work like you say it does.
I haven't ever spoken to
Brad. You gotta get your people on it, Brad. Okay, much love, dude. Good job on the case, but we got a hole in the ship right here. Come on.
100%. And that is really what the XRPL community has been doing, is people are very, very vocal. It gets frustrating at times because people get emotional, but really the sentiment is we want this to be the best place possible so we can onboard people and make this the place that we all know it's capable of being. And yeah, it's happening. It's happening in real time. So it's super exciting.
It's happening.
Yeah, it's happening. Do something else though. Imagine this in the future. And I could see this happening. And this is kind of a little bit off topic. Dipper Towers, last week, Melissa and I were chatting back and forth about, people getting laid off, et cetera, et cetera. But that led into talking about us, and we're in the crypto space. And she's like, well, you could go get a job somewhere in the crypto space at a company. And it hit me like a light bulb, like, I could. 4 years ago? No way. No way. Yeah. 8 years ago, definitely not. Right now, all the institutions are like, we need people that know this. So, so here you go. Here, when they ask for a resume, you pull out your phone, pull out your wallet. I'm a part of this one. I've been there for 5 years. I've been doing this for here. I've done transactions here. I've done this. I've done this. I've done this. In fact, I'm going to leave these addresses with you, and you can follow the money. If you can't, give me a call. I'm $125 an hour, but for you, I'll cut a deal, $124.99, and I'll see you Monday. But it's so.
Like there's been so many people that are involved in this space and probably don't identify what you just labeled, and that is they have so much knowledge, and that knowledge is powerful, and it's also marketable. So spot on. We're going to see so many companies, especially now that Ripple aren't involved in a court case. So many companies looking at this tech, thinking, how can we implement it? And there's so many people on the XRP Ledger who have probably just been here for enjoyment, who now have these employment opportunities by providing their knowledge that they've developed over the last 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 years and put it into play for that business. And it may just be an advisory position, but it could also be a technical position. Who knows?
Yep.
I would say both. Earlier today, I was able to stay at home and do some of my work, not to earn the money work, right? And I took some advice from a friend to watch a panel, and this panel was the Blockworks 2025,
something like that.
Yeah, Blockworks Summit in New York, and it was about hedge funds and kind of the current companies that have taken the leap of faith and going into the crypto space. In fact, one of the individuals, if I still have him up here, maybe I don't, is oh my gosh, what's his name? He's gone. Siegel. It was Matthew Siegel was on one of these panels, and he's from Van Eck, and it was really interesting to hear these trade finance guys and ladies that's where they came from, right? And they are literally dipping their toe at a bigger price point level, but small to them, to see how this works. And it was so interesting to hear that there are people out there and companies out there that are doing it, but I realized that no, we're not there yet. They know, like, we're still not there. Like, they're talking to, wealthy individuals and companies that are there to hear their take on it. Like, so where are we really? There was a gentleman up there talking about DeFi, and he's like, DeFi is still the wild, wild west, but my company handles hundreds of millions of dollars for institutions like yourself in this space. But yes, there's a lot of different metrics. And what I found interesting is they touched on the fundamentals of trade finance. It's like, nope, all like 90% of that just right out the window. What you would do in normal trade finance, all those fundamentals are gone. And they really, really, really explained it very well, especially for the Main Street individuals. And again, it was just another piece of validation to where you, Melissa, myself, and everybody in this chat right now, we are crypto 365 days a week. Even if we don't want to, we are. Like, we just are, right? When we come to the real world and, maybe go to the grocery store, pick up some food or some needed items, it's like, you guys still don't know about this, like, at all. And that's okay. It's just like, oh, we got time.
Well,
just keep buying,
One thing that sparked my memory from on previous shows that we talked about is how, listening to another one of those summits or private meetings that they have, and where they were saying that, you've got your TradFi people, your DeFi people, your crypto people. They don't have a lot of people that know both. You have somebody that's super great at traditional finance, super great at DeFi, but they don't know both. And so, there is a delay with that, because you got to train the people to be able to do it. And then the other thing that, Simon and I talked about this afternoon was that, this whole thing has to be handled delicately. so the delay with regulations and all in getting these big companies and the ETFs. I said EFTs earlier. The ETF approvals, which I think there's like 9 or 10 for XRP now, that are on the table. But it has to be handled delicately, because just like a bank, you don't want people going in and ripping all their money out of the bank. Just like you don't want a bunch of people taking their investments that are currently propping up the stock market, ripping out the money from that company because they want to put it into crypto. And so you have your big heads like Larry Fink, those types of people telling you, well, you only really should put in, a couple. And so it's my opinion, because I'm not a finance, guru, but it makes common sense to me that they would be training these folks that are going to start onboarding the people that have money, the responsible people, and they're probably going to practice with the people that have a lot of money initially, because they listen to their advisors, what they tell them to do. And so if my advisor guy that I trust tells me to move 3% or 5% of my portfolio into these crypto assets, right? And then you see Trump with his strategic reserve, they're setting it all up very carefully. In my opinion, they're setting it all very carefully. And so where, like you said, we're in at 365 24/7. It's not going to be as fast as what we want. It's going to be slower than what we want, but it's still happening. And so while on the one side of it, it's like super happy because we've got more time. And on the other side, it's like, damn it,
Yeah,
I feel like that sentiment's shared by so many people.
Right.
But there's one more element to that, Melissa, that I think is going to be quite powerful. And I think that the old school banks, like the banking system, is going to want to hold people's crypto, right? So I think there's going to be this call from banks to the mainstream is, hey guys, if you have crypto, come store it with us. And all of a sudden we're going to move away from this concept that most of us in the crypto industry right now have, that is like, not your keys, not your crypto. And it's going to move towards a more traditional sort of viewpoint, which might make people feel a little bit more comfortable. But yeah, there is definitely still this stain on crypto. And obviously there's been so many bad players. Like if you talk about the FTX incident as an example, there's so many other examples, like the recent Ethereum hack.
The Ethereum hack.
There's so much, and not surprisingly to me, is mainstream media will run those stories and they will push those stories onto the people. Be scared, be afraid. When really people who are in the know realize that the writing was on the wall for a lot of these things. The Ethereum hack, not so much. That still shocks me a little bit. But a lot of the other things that have been happening, like it's been quite clear to us. And that's why things like your starting disclaimer is so important, guys. Like, not your keys, not your crypto. Always do your due diligence. Really get to know what you're doing. If you're going to invest in something, make sure you know about what you're putting your money into. Don't just go willy-nilly throwing your money around everywhere. Don't invest what you can't be prepared to lose. Like, some of these are real like fundamentals of crypto investing that I think a lot of people sort of skim over because they get excited, they get emotional, and they allow those emotions and feelings guide their decision making, when really you need to be as logical as possible when you're dealing with money. And this is one of those spaces where, there's a lot of fun to be had. There's a lot of education to be learned, but you still need to be diligent about your decision making and really protect yourself, because you don't want to find yourself in a position where you're struggling for money and you can't pay your rent or you can't put food on your table. Like you still need to focus on the real world. And that's why most of us have to remain as flexible as possible, because we're in crypto 24/7. Don't get me wrong, but we've still got a wife, we've still got kids, we've still got families, we've still got a day job. So we need to find that balance.
100%.
Absolutely. And Melissa, to piggyback on your it's going to happen, but not fast enough for us, I would say that it's not going to happen fast for us. I totally agree with that. Especially those of us that have been in for a while. We're just like, bus is coming any minute now, right? But I think for the institutions, companies, I mean, heck, even the governments, we have seen a pivot and an uptick in their in their speed to get things done and at least established, like bringing this to the forefront of the conversation and implementation, and so 10 years out, where are we going to be 5 years out? I really think we won't recognize the world as we see it right now. Even as fellow cryptopians, we're going to be like, wow, actually that did happen pretty fast from that point going forward. The buildup's always slow. Watch any crypto chart, you'll see the bell curve, and we're right in this bell curve part. It might take us another 5 years or less, but still that is breakneck speed for companies, for countries, for international partnerships. I mean, and all that going on. I mean, I hate to say it, but I think the powers that be are actually hard at work finally.
Yeah.
Yep.
They are. There's a coordinated work.
Yeah.
Together.
My belief is that they've had their fingers in this the whole time. It's just now being presented to the public that this is what we're doing. So they're starting to really publicize the moves they're making. But I have no doubt that they have known about this for a long time and they've been getting involved in it. It's just been a learning curve, and it's a big learning curve. If you're not in it for a long time, it takes time to really educate yourself and to also change old minds, right? Like I can't even imagine like the American government, some people there like 80 years old plus sitting around, and people are talking about fun internet money, and they're just like, what is going on? And I imagine those types of people would be very difficult to convince and to bring on board with, this is a new technology, this is going to change the world. We just need to regulate it in a way that's not going to cause harm to investors like the SEC did 4 years ago. Like I'm still in shock that it took 4 years to find this resolution, which was so obvious from the start. But it's political and governmental decision making is never an easy topic. It's never an easy thing to do. And it's great to see what the American government is doing now. And I hope that other governments around the world take note and they start to follow, because America will be the crypto center of the world. And it's very, very exciting because America is almost the center of the world in everyone's minds anyway. We all grew up on American movies. We all listen to American music.
Rick and Morty, yay!
Rick and Morty's American, 100%. All my friends are American now through crypto. So it's America's really leading the world, and they're doing it in a way that's graceful as well. So they're not just going, I know Trump created his meme coin, but he didn't really push it as far as the government's concerned. That's something he did on the side. But he's really, as far as the government's push, it's really looking for regulatory clarity and now working towards how can we get implementation? How can we do this the correct way to ensure that there's this growth in this industry, which we know is going to change the world?
You know what else is super fascinating is, and I do agree with you, with us being the world reserve currency and the leaders, right? We're always look to what happens in America, the rest of the world follows. I mean, that's what I've kind of been told. It has to be handled extremely responsibly, and the fact that we are transforming our global financial system. What is unique to crypto and the digital asset space, distributed ledgers, the blockchains, all of that, just you creating a token and thinking about tokenomics and how that works. And you could apply that on a large global scale. And when we know about like how our money is created out of thin air, out of debt, the house of cards that form. And we never really thought about that kind of stuff. I never did when I was growing up. It's money, and you go to your job and you get paid money and they take out taxes, and but never really had a connection with what it really was, where it came from, and none of that stuff. I just trusted. And so that's one thing I think about the people that are in, most of the people that are in the digital asset space are really trying to teach themselves, and anybody that's building something will fastly find out about tokenomics and having to figure it out. And as you said, there's been several projects that, just got taken out completely because they went into it, jumped in instead of dipping a toe. They jumped it like they did a cannonball, and they were like, "Well, shit, that didn't work," you know. And not every
sometimes it's not a shit. Sometimes it's like a mother.
Oh, I hurt my neck.
I'm going home.
My back.
I'm going. Can you drive?
Yeah.
Does your phone work? Can you get Uber? It's one of
And
those,
hey,
man.
it wouldn't be a bad thing if they did that and it was just them moving away. But the unfortunate reality of that is they're harming so many people who believed in them and believed in their idea. And I just
like the
I think of a
United
worse
States
thing.
dollar and the
Yeah, well, that's it, Melissa,
economy,
right? Yeah.
Oh God! Now we're gonna get shut down. All that stuff we were trying to be careful from earlier, and now you just boom.
I mean, I'm just saying,
But
but
one of the
Right.
these
greatest
are good
parts of it,
these
right?
are good lessons, you know.
One of the greatest parts of crypto is the transparency, and like we would love to see some transparency from our governments with what they're doing with the trades that they're.
Oh, I know. I mean, whew, some people are mad. I mean,
Like we don't even know if there's gold in Fort Knox right now. Like what's going on?
It's a crapshoot.
Pretty crazy.
Yeah.
You know,
Go ahead. No, you first.
I was just gonna say, he was mentioning the fact that the SEC dropped the Ripple appeal, and that is something that's very significant. And I just so happened to have the message from Brad Garlinghouse that came out today, because there was a lot of cool stuff that happened today. And I was going to play that for the audience, but I'll wait.
Play that funky music, white girl.
Let's go, Simon.
Let's see. Be careful. I may be.
Give us the Brad. Give us the big Garlinghouse.
You guys might have to mute yourself in case it echo, because I'm sharing with a weird
Okay, I'm gonna mute.
So I hope, and then give me a thumbs up if you guys can hear it. Okay, hold on. Get this on here. Get them on. All right.
As many of you know, just over 4 years ago, the United States SEC filed its lawsuit against Ripple. I'm finally able to announce that this case has ended. It's over. Sitting here today and reflecting on 4 years ago, it seems very clear to me that this case was doomed from the start. In so many ways, it was the first major shot fired in the war on crypto. I truly felt like I knew then that Ripple was not only on the right side of the law, but I felt that we were also going to be proven to be on the right side of history.
It really, I think, sends an ominous sign for innovation around cryptocurrency in the United States. Picking winners in general has not been something the U.S. government should be in the business of doing.
I think the judge realizes this is not just about Ripple. This will have broader implications. As Mary Jo White, the former head of the SEC, has said publicly that she views this as a dead wrong, and the SEC is dead wrong on this decision.
Ripple is the first company with the resources, determination, and grit to fight back against the agency's overreach. And today, this journey finally concludes. Today is a victory and a long overdue surrender by the SEC. The SEC, under Chairman Gary Gensler, went after the whole industry, using the same arguments they used against us. They weren't out to protect investors. They were out to intimidate and terrorize. The regulator, whose primary purpose is to protect investors, went all in on a non-fraud, victimless lawsuit and wiped out $15 billion of value from innocent XRP holders. The SEC was the market manipulator. The SEC wasn't seeking justice. They were seeking to win a case at any cost. Forces inside our government aligned with the SEC and embarked on a campaign of debanking anyone associated with the crypto industry. This was lawfare, a war of legal terror. Fortunately, the judge rebuked the SEC multiple times in this journey. First, for lacking a, quote, faithful allegiance to the law. The SEC was sanctioned in our case for discovery abuses, and the pattern was repeated in other crypto cases.
Well, let's just say they're trying to confuse you.
We won then on every critical legal point, proving that the digital asset XRP is not a security. That is now the law, and those wins have laid the groundwork for policymakers to adopt a set of rules for crypto that are in line with nearly a century of securities law. With today's news, the war on crypto has ended in defeat for those who turned our own government against a technology and an entire industry. I'm heartened that we have paved the way for other industry players to see the value in not backing down, and for others to use our legal playbook to fight back. We are now closing a chapter in crypto history. I think we're all stronger, for our prior litigation successes and today's landmark victory. Progress is worth fighting for. We won multiple pro-crypto victories at the ballot box last year. It's time to make the US the crypto capital of the world. Thankfully, we have new leadership in the executive and legislative branches of our government. That leadership is actively seeking a rational and constructive way forward on crypto. Let's make the most of this. This is an incredibly promising moment. Let's come together. Let's leave the tribalism behind. Let me make it clearer that my main message, what Ripple's main message today is about gratitude. It's gratitude to everyone who stood by us, to every Ripple employee, to the incredible legal team here at Ripple, led by the best chief legal officer in the business, Stu Alderodi. Gratitude certainly to the XRP family, to our customers, to our partners. Thank you. We couldn't have won this battle without all of you being behind us and working together. I truly believe we all agree there's immense opportunity with the largest economy in the world finally taking a pro-crypto and pro-innovation approach to build this technology in order to solve real-world problems for people around the planet. This was a fight Ripple never wanted, but one we knew we had to win. And today, emphatically, we have. Thank you.
Nah. Huh?
Good set.
Give me a little teary-eyed. Holy. Yeah. I mean, it's just, what do you guys think about that? What do you think, James?
It's just so relieving. It's like the truth has finally found its place, and it's
Well said.
It's been a long 4 years, and it's been a fantastic journey, to be honest, because we've been able to watch along and learn a lot. I've learned a lot about the American government. I've learned a lot about the American legal system through this process. It's also created some fantastic buying opportunities for people who were late to the party on XRP, but it's also flushed out a lot of corruption. We've got the whole ETHgate scenario. We've got Gary Gensler and his bad acting. So we've been sort of persecuted as a community in this whole case, but we've come out the other side and we can see, hey, we were actually right this whole time. Brad and Ripple were right this whole time, and it's finally now publicized. So I cannot wait for the mainstream media to pick this up. I hope they do. I hope this is not one of the other things that they sweep under the rug, because this is monumental. It's literally a single company going to war against a whole government. And it's just crazy. It's crazy. The balls on the Ripple company to fork out the money, to fork out the legal fees that they must have to pay, and to even pay up the fees that they were forced to pay, but to continue and to push and to finally get this result. I want to be a fly on the wall for the party that they're going to have. I'm sure they're going to be partying.
Yeah. It's funny. I saw in the chat, tons of people like, that's AI. And because I try not to retweet something as soon as I see it, because there are a lot of cool AI things out there, and you're like, oh shit, I shouldn't have retweeted that. That's not real. But so I was late.
Sorry, they're saying that video was AI.
Yes, but a lot of
there's
people.
A delay. There's like a delay.
Well,
yeah,
but the video itself does seem a little AI-ish, But like I think it was was saying it's because he's actually reading off of something, and normally he's just talking off the cuff.
Yeah.
And it was professionally done and well put together. With a specific message in mind, and so it's a little differently put together differently than how we normally see them. But I think it is funny how many people thought it looked AI-ish, and but I saw he did it himself, and I saw other big players doing it, and I was like, okay, it's real. This is the truth,
Well, this is that one. This wouldn't be the first time that we've seen old Brad randomly on YouTube looking all professional. Only this time there was no QR code. Send your XRP here to be a part of blah, 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 right? Man, I've seen that over the past 4 years. I've seen that 3 times. A Brad coming up, looking all professional. We here at Ripple want to support the blah blah blah, and it's like, it's like a bad Chinese movie.
So K-Buddy said Brad was live on stage when they released that. I've got no doubt that that was a pre-recorded video and that Ripple have known about this outcome for days, maybe weeks. So I don't think this was a reaction to the final agreement that they had to go public with this, because I think it was Stuart Alderati that sort of said, all right, this is the news. It wasn't anything that came from the American government. So that's sort of where we're sitting on now. We're waiting for an official address from either the SEC, the American government, or official body of the American government to sort of say, this is where we've arrived at. So I think until then, a lot of people will be skeptical. This space is built on a lot of people who have that conspiracy theorist tinfoil hat sort of mentality. So it's not surprising to me that they may think that that is rubbish. But hey, even if it is AI, Brad shared it, Ripple shared it, so it doesn't matter. It's just you're focusing on the wrong element of it. Just listen to what he's saying and focus on the great victory that we are now seeing with the appeal being withdrawn.
Yeah. And I agree with you. That was something that was significant that happened today. The other thing that I wanted to share, and we're not going to play a video or anything like that, but I wanted to put a bug in everybody's ear that's listening. We have 275 people listening.
Wow.
Yeah. Wow, guys. Thanks so much. Please like, share, and subscribe to the At Dipper Toe Show. But I did watch I watched a conference or like a podcast, the All In podcast today. And they had Scott Bessent as the guest on. And let's see if I got the right one. I hope that I do. I just wanted to share. So I'm not going to play the whole thing, but this is my post. So you guys can go and look for it. Or you can just search out the All In podcast on YouTube. But this conversation that these guys had with Scott, it was fantastic. If you want to know what the Trump administration is going to do, what their plans are, this guy tells you. He tells you exactly. The other fun fact that I found out today about Scott Bessent is earlier in his career, he actually worked with George Soros as a part of a trio. And I was like, whoa, I did not know that. You know, that's kind of an interesting a little tidbit of information when it comes to Scott Bessent. But I know a lot of people in the crypto community were excited when he got appointed. I'm not super familiar with him, but so far as I've listened to a lot of his interviews and that, he seems to be well-spoken, knows his stuff, was able to answer every one of their questions. And in fact, the All In podcast, I think the Crypto Czar was part of that All In podcast. That's cool. So, because I remember when I first got in the crypto space, I started out with Bitcoin, and All In podcast was one of the podcasts I would listen to, and it's got "Let Go and All In." No, talk about "Let Go and All In." But anyway, they have a lot of really good information in that. So I encourage everyone. We have like 20 minutes left. Do you want to do a giveaway since Daddy Gotta Be is giving away some Schmeckles? Do we want to just do the I play because it was like in the Schmeckles way? And James, do you want? How do you want to do it? Because he's left it up to you.
Oh my goodness!
I don't remember how many he said he was going to give out.
I think it's 5 times 20 Schmeckles. So 5 people.
5 times. Okay. So I guess we'll have to. Do you have the picker, Simon? I play the little picky. I think this could be.
Yes, I do.
This could be a fun thing and get people to do this. And then if anybody doesn't have the Schmeckles, we'll have to have somebody put the trust line in there for people. And James, while we're talking about this, can you go over that one more time about the trust line thing and why for the dip-a-toers that are listening that have never interacted with the XRP Ledger, and I was one of them that never had a Zaman wallet, and so I wasn't overly familiar with the necessary the need to set a trust line. But can you go over what that's all about?
Can we first just tell Gotta-Be to stop teasing my accent, and then we'll continue?
Gotta-Be, Simon says stop teasing about his accent.
Exclamation mark and play.
Oh, that's actually really good. Well done.
Exclamation mark play.
Oh, that's good as well. Wow, you guys have been practicing. So with the XRP Ledger, so there's a few things to know about getting involved with the token. So the first thing you need is an activated wallet. So an activated wallet means you need to download an app or register on a browser app. And what Melissa said is probably the recommendation I would as well. Zaman wallet, X-A-M-A-N. You'll find it in the Google Play Store. You'll find it in the Apple Store. So once you have that wallet, there's a whole little intro that you'll have to read through. Take your time, read through it. It's not one of those sort of disclaimers you get and you just sort of skip and press next. You actually want to digest and read the information. So once you've read that information, you've registered your wallet, the next thing you need to do is activate that wallet. So you can activate your wallet with one XRP, and it's a reserve. So the XRPL works with reserve. So what that means is that one XRP is reserved, it's put to the side, and it can't be accessed while that account is active. If you choose in the future to deactivate that account, you get that one XRP back. Now, so that's the first thing. So you've got your wallet, you've activated it. So how to activate it is probably part of the conversation as well. You can do that by purchasing XRP on a centralized exchange and sending it to that wallet. You can do it directly via the Zaman app. There's a number of different apps in, they call them X apps or D apps that you can use to purchase XRP with. So then once you have activated wallet, the next thing you need to do is register a trust line or activate a trust line. So what a trust line is you approaching a project, and it's not like you're messaging them, it's all through the Zaman wallet, and you are saying, I trust this project and I am happy to hold tokens in that project. So what you receive in your Zaman wallet is a transaction. That transaction has a reserve as well. So it's 1 XRP for the wallet and it's 0.2 XRP to hold a trust line. Again, that trust line reserve is a reserve. So it's 0.2 XRP
Still
put
yours.
to the side. If you close that trust line, you get that 0.2 XRP back. So once you've got your wallet app, you've activated it, and you've got a trust line, you are then able to purchase tokens or receive tokens. So in this example, we're doing a giveaway. You would never have to actually purchase the tokens unless you chose to, but you would still need to get the wallet app, pay the 1 XRP reserve, pay the 0.2 XRP reserve to get the trust line to Schmeckles. And with each transaction, there's also a micro payment, a micro transaction of XRP, which is less than a cent. It's really cheap. It's one of the beauties of the XRP Ledger. And that is not redeemable again. So that's not a reserve. That's a one-time payment for each transaction. That XRP, again, one of the really cool things about XRP, which a lot of people don't know, actually gets burned. So every transaction fee is being burned, but that's not including service fees, which is a whole different conversation. And I won't start on that because I'll go on a massive rant.
I know. because that's not anything to do with the XRP ledger itself. That's the window that you're entering the ledger.
100%.
Right. And so that's what people need to realize with that type of thing. But yeah, I agree, because we could go on.
You gotta lose them.
We could go.
We talk about the fees, we start losing people, man.
Okay, so are you saying we have to do 5? We're gonna do 5 of these.
Let's go.
So are you set up, Simon?
I am. First keyword is I'm gonna put it in the chat. I'm gonna put it in the chat. I'm gonna put the first one in the chat, right? Okay.
Thank you.
I'm gonna put it in the. Oh wait. I'm gonna put in the chat. People on YouTube are gonna get it, and I think that's the only people that can play, right?
We need to mention
YouTube, that, right? People.
While you head over to YouTube, be sure that you're subscribed to the channel, or you
can't win. Do the X Factor. But here you go. I just put it in the chat. Spelled exactly like that. Uppercase, lowercase, the whole coup de grace. If you screw it up, it doesn't count you. This is old AI, not new. So
we're
go
doing
ahead.
Schmeckles.
So it looked
For the
like it
first
auto
one?
posted through to Twitch as well. So that system worked. So it wasn't just YouTube.
Fantastic. Yep, I see
So
it.
we're doing the first one, right? We got four.
Yep.
Four more to go. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So start throwing that in the chat, and
I got 10 entries so far. 10 in there. 10, 11. We got 11 people up in there.
We got 292 people watching, so there should be a whole bunch.
292. 202 of them are watching the Dipito Show on X. Much love to all of you out there watching on X at the Dipito Show. Jim.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's cool.
So while we're waiting for that to populate, I wanted to know, like, for Rick and Morty, if you, what was it, like, hypothetical crossover, if you were gonna use team up with the Schmeckles, or in like kind of do what does it say, like Rick and Morty style plumbus coin, like yeah. What would it be? Schmeckles like versus Dogecoin, Shiba Inu?
No, well, if we were partnering with Rick and Morty directly, I would be looking to create a merch item, something that's marketable beyond the crypto world, something that would be able to sit in like those collectible traders shops, that people who are fascinated with Rick and Morty can then find this product, learn about Schmeckles, and then maybe choose to come on board to Schmeckles. But I wouldn't be looking to create a direct crypto product because that already exists. That is the Schmeckles token. That is the NFTs that we create. NFTs have a loose Rick and Morty theme to them. They're crazy. They're multi-dimensional. There's aliens. There's all these crazy things happening in our NFTs. So we'd like to really, if we get involved with Rick and Morty, create a real world product that is away from the crypto space, but will help people find us. That is really what I'd be looking to do. But yeah, that's, I hope that answers that question.
No, it totally does. So do they let you use the artwork, or you have to recreate something that's close to a Rick and Morty?
So we don't actually do Rick and Morty artwork directly. So all the artwork is in the Urban Monk Studios style. So it's their artwork. We do dive into the parody elements of art, which is always free to do. It's beyond copyright. So we like to play with parody. We don't just parody Rick and Morty. We parody Pokemon. We parody The Simpsons. We parody whatever we can. We just love pop culture. And it's a big part of Rick and Morty as well. Rick and Morty always play on the pop culture themes. So we do it here in Schmeckles as well. But yeah, so we never take artwork from the show itself. If we do, it's created by an artist that Rick and Morty work with himself, a guy called Aldo. So we've got Aldo creating certain images for us, but we don't actually sell those images. We don't want to ever walk on the line with Rick and Morty. We just want to stay, this is us. That's you. If you want to shake hands, we can shake hands. We're going to promote your product for you. We're going to talk about your product.
Free promotion, right?
Exactly right. Yeah. So we just want to bolster up and boost Rick and Morty. I enjoy it so much. I want other people to enjoy it. I want people to enjoy the messages, the silliness, the comical side of things, but also the seriousness and the professionalism that we bring with all of that too.
I love it. I love it. Oh, who's going to win?
Here we go.
Let's go. Glamma wants to win. Melissa, who is it?
Gotta be was gonna win his own token.
Congratulations, Fitzy. What does he win? He wins 20 Schmeckles?
20 Schmeckles. That's it. Yes.
20 Schmeckles.
It's about 19 XRP in your bag, Fitzy.
What's our next?
How are we doing the contact or the address or any of that jazz there? Or how would you like to do that, Miss Melissa?
I can drop the trust line into the chat.
Sure.
And they will need to get in contact with either myself or the Schmeckles project and just drop your wallet address. But I can reach out to people if I know them. This comment has failed to post. Looks like I can't share a URL.
Oh yeah, that is the same thing that happens to me unless I post it in like actual YouTube.
Next word.
Next word. What is the next word, guys?
Rick.
Rick.
Yeah, let's do Rick.
Rick. Hey, Rick.
If you want to send it in the
Okay.
private, I might be able to grab it and try to post it in the YouTube. Maybe.
What I'm going to do is I'm actually just going to reach out to people individually. Actually, I'll see if I can go to the YouTube direct and post there.
That works. That works too.
All right, there we go. The trust line's just been posted through, guys.
Perfect.
And I will also reach out to the winners. Oh, can I do that?
Let's see here. Fitzy.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go old school.
Oh,
pen and pad.
Kristen's got your back. She's got the handle, and she gave the link to the trust line because she's
she
awesome.
Is absolutely amazing, isn't she?
Thank you, Kristen. That's fantastic. So what do we got? We got Rick.
Hey, Rick.
Huh?
Hey, Rick. Rick.
So what do we think's going to happen? Like the rest of this week? What with all of the news? What do you see on the horizon, James?
I wish I could tell the future. I'm really in two minds completely. There's people talking about. I love TA. I don't believe it as an exact science, but I enjoy listening to TA people speak, especially when they speak with such confidence. So it seems to be a bit of a mixed bag. Obviously, we've got this news, so people are probably feeling really bullish. They're getting excited. We've seen a little pump already happening with a nice flag created. So usually that will mean some further upward action. I think historically around this period of time, we're looking for another dip. I've heard some TA guys say that XRP could drop below $1 again, which is like blows my mind. Like, how can that potentially happen? I don't understand. But then I speak to other people that are just like, no, there's absolutely no chance it's going to happen. So my answer is, I don't know the future, Melissa. I'm sorry to say, but I'm hopeful in a short-term pump, maybe a bit of a retracement, and then going into a future pump. I do expect to see XRP over $4 this year. I think that's a bit of a given. And then I do see the next level being around that $10 mark, then going to the $20 to $30 mark. I think this will all happen in the next couple of years. I don't think it's going to be a very long wait, but then I think over the next 5 to 10 years, we could see XRP getting into the triple figures. So that's my opinion. I know a lot of people probably won't agree with me. Some people may think I'm being too pessimistic, but anyway. Oh, here we go. We got some charting. Let's go.
I think it's better sometimes to be a bit pessimistic and a little bit more reserved when it comes to, so it's good to get excited and think about these things, but to be a little bit more reserved is to not let yourself down. Because some people get a little crazy. Come on, Glamma. I want my friend Glamma to win. It'd be awesome.
You gotta play to win. Lisa,
hey,
go girl, representing the Washington State community. I love it. Woo!
Huh?
Oh, sorry, I just threw your stuff out on Main Street. Sorry about that. I won't tell them what town you don't live next to.
Just to answer Optimistic Prime, TA stands for technical analysis.
Yeah, she says go on a rant about TA.
We don't have enough time, Amanda.
Yeah,
sorry.
I know.
There's TA and then there's TNA, and those are totally two different things.
Yeah.
But sometimes the charting is applied in both arenas. All right. Congratulations, Lisa. Hey.
What's the next word?
TA.
What you think?
How about I play?
Yeah. Exclamation I play.
Yeah. We're gonna do it. Bam. Here we go. Ding ding.
And we're showing it.
Yeah, that's good. There it is right there. I play spelled just like that. I play.
Exclamation Throw them in there.
Put them in. Let me stop sharing the screen here just for a moment.
What other types of things? Do you have anything special coming up that you'd like the audience to know about? Do you have any special projects that you're working on?
Really, it's all Schmeckles. I have been loosely involved in the new Viva wallet, which is really exciting. So that's something coming from the Res team. Create a new wallet for the XRPL, which is feeless, which has advantages for a lot of projects as well. So that's something that I'm really excited about. But yeah, really, it's just about showing up every single day for the Schmeckles community. Through this month of March, we're doing 2 streams a week. So we do them on Wednesday and Saturday my time, which is Tuesday and Fridays for you guys. We're also doing lots of giveaways through our Twitter page or X page, in our Discord. And these are the things that I'm really, really passionate about and enjoy doing. So we do a lot at Schmeckles, and it can be overwhelming if you're an outsider firstly coming in. But just go with the flow, you know, like you don't need to get involved with the giveaways if you don't want to. You don't need to show up to the streams if you don't want to. That's just an extra advantage for you guys if you're looking to win some prizes, spend some time with the community, have a little bit of fun. We do have this big burn event happening now. That is something that I'm excited for as well, to see some Schmeckles getting burned, to see our supply being reduced, to see some XRP put into our charts. We've also really increased our volume of late, which is really exciting. So what I guess as a whole, what I'm really excited about is more people onboarding to the XRP Ledger, as well as the XRP Ledger finally being recognized for the crypto state as a whole. Right now, we're really behind a wall. We've sort of been pigeonholed. We've been pushed to the side, and it's been happening for way too long. I'm really hoping that off the back of this SEC court case, that the XRPL is really going to open up to the public, to more people from blockchains like Solana, the Ethereum blockchain, the Bitcoin blockchain, and they're going to come over here and see, holy moly, this is legit. It is fast. It is cheap, and it is a great community of people. So that's what I'm looking forward to.
You know, you said something, and for the Dip-a-Toes, we have 306 people watching right now. Dip-a-Toe, like, share, and subscribe, please. Go over to @Dip-a-Toe on YouTube, Rumble, Facebook. Please subscribe to our channel. It'd be super cool. We're at Dip-a-Toe Show on X. Please subscribe to that. And World Be Free 888 on Twitch. I'm streaming from the Twitch right now too. But you mentioned volume. You're super happy that you've increased your volume. For those that are new to this crypto space, in this in general, can you just say a little bit?
Caleb, that's one of our moderators. Absolute legend, this young gentleman. He's from the Philippines. And he shows up every single day for the Schmeckles community. He's an absolute delight to be around. So congratulations, Leb. They're very well-deserved Schmeckles, mate.
Fantastic.
Love it. Congratulations.
But when you said we're super excited, our volume is increased. Can you explain why that's cool? Like what that means?
One of the biggest issues with the XRP Ledger is the trading volume as a whole. So what we're seeing on other blockchains is trading to the millions, billions, and a lot of money being spent back and forth. The XRP Ledger, not so much. People seem to be a little bit more reserved. They're not spending as much money. Most of our like meme coins, you're seeing billion-dollar market cap meme coins on other blockchains. It's rare to see a meme coin on the XRPL above 10 million. It's rare to see a utility token on the XRPL above 10 million. So we have this reduced trading volume, maybe due to reduced users, maybe due to XRP holders being so determined to hold on to their bags that they don't want to spend their XRP. Whatever it is, there's just this really low metric on the XRPL for trading volume. What we've been seeing in the last couple of weeks is this trading volume is really starting to pick up. We even saw a spike today after the news of the SEC appeal being withdrawn. So what this does is multiple things. It puts us on the map. So when you're looking at user interface websites like Dex Screener, for example, there's a whole bunch of them out there, CoinMum, they really show volume as one of the primary metrics that they use to rank tokens, to advertise tokens. So the metric of volume is significantly important to crypto as a whole, but also to individual projects. So the XRP Ledger now, with the increase in volume, we're going to see more eyes coming onto the XRPL, more interest, and as a result, more volume. And there's the saying in the XRPL, all ships rise together. So as XRP goes up, we're going to see all these meme coins value go up, their trading volume go up, and it's just going to be this grandiose event, I truly believe, in the next year, where we're seeing a massive influx of people coming to the XRP Ledger, really splashing out on a lot of these meme tokens because they're seeing the advantages. There's advantages linked with AMMs. You're not so sure, Simon, or what's happening?
No. Roll with it. No. I am not poo-pooing. I just wanted to go check out something. As you mentioned, Dex Screener, that triggered me to look at XRP over at DeFi Llama, where you're talking about volume, right? So obviously, I have a bad habit. I'm a trader. So I TA. Not TNA, just TA. I like it. I find it fascinating. I really do, even though I'm playing against a machine like anything else I do in this world. But over on DeFi Llama, you can look at each, chain or a coin that has its own blockchain, etc., and you can see how much value is locked up into different type of DeFi protocols, whether that's like simple staking or liquidity pools. You talked about earlier about you're talking about the AMMs,
I just
right?
need to jump in, Simon, because this is such a dangerous metric, and I understand that it's just a metric, it's just data, and it's exciting to look at, but with the liquidity that is in AMMs, that can go in as easy as it could come out. So a lot of people go around those figures. Yeah. Like, oh, look how much XRP is locked up into the AMMs. It's like, that's not locked. That is accessible just like any token. So you can pull
that's current imply at the moment. Yeah, timestamp. That's how much current in play. So something that that just I like to do for myself. And I literally don't tell anybody else to do it or suggest it, but it's just something that I found is the volume factor, right? Of just, so when I would trade, I would hear seasoned traders talk about volume, and that volume can be equal to liquidity. How much liquidity is in there right now? Meaning, if you were to do a day trade, you get in the morning, 3 hours later, do you get out, right? So for someone that has $10, that might be very simple. But someone that has $10,000, well, do you have is there enough volume in there to where you're not going to wreck the market like rug pull, right, situation, or vice versa? Price spikes up because you went out all in trying to be a baller. So look at a total value locked, it doesn't necessarily mean it's locked in. That's just in play in this group of DeFi protocols. And so for me, I kind of look at that as just another, as you say, metric of growth. Overall, here's this ledger or here's this blockchain. Wow. I've watched this number for a year now. It's stayed in this kind of a range. It hasn't dipped down to where it was maybe 4 years ago or anything like that. Okay, we're getting stabilization now. And from a forget the trading aspect, come from the adoption aspect and the, hey, people are holding on to it now, where maybe 4 years ago or even 8 years ago, it was in and out all day. I mean, 1 minute you're winning, the next you are rug sunk and beat down just because you wanted to participate, and the old ICO days, 2017 and all that fun stuff in 2018. Anyways, so not including the volume. I think I just wanted to look to see what XRP, what's going on over there, because I want to see where it's at today, right here, right now, where, hey, 6 months, a year, like you're talking next year. You're absolutely right. When you have coins or tokens in this instance that are created on a platform, XRPL, the native token XRP, it goes up in dollar price. Okay, well, that just made everything else go up in dollar price because of the trading pair value, right? Exactly. It still takes maybe 0.05 of XRP to get one Schmeckle. Okay, but today's price, that's $2.50 in XRP. Okay, so basically 5% of that. But
my friend David Schwartz has summed this up in a post really, really well. So you're singing his song for sure.
Oh yeah. So XRP goes $10. Well, that just went up in dollar value, 100%. Right? Which is most of us and how we were brainwashed in our current financial system, right? It's the paper money, right? We still go there. And actually, kind of on on that topic right there, I was listening to that panel today, and there was a gentleman that was he was speaking to DeFi, but he brought this point up, and I think it's very valid. He was saying, all you people in the room, all of us that there's two things that brought us here to where we're at right now. And he's talking to the panel and, of course, the room. And he says, greed or fear or both, right? And that made sense to me for just that moment, that initial, hey, if there's this project Schmeckles, it could moon, right? Greed, right? Lottery ticket, right? Gambling, gambling, or I don't trust this financial system. I need to put my value into another thing and retain it, right?
So you're looking at fear from a completely different perspective.
Yeah,
That's
fear
really
from a different perspective. I was like, but he nailed it. I knew exactly what he was saying, but I was like, man, we don't really talk about kind of that aspect.
I guess that could be seen as manipulation in a sense, right? Like if you're making people feel afraid that they have to do something.
Yeah,
that's probably a great marketing strategy.
A lot of manipulation.
Right. So I have been looking at the comments. A lot of people are talking about trading bots and metrics being fake. And guys, you are absolutely spot on. Spot on. That's exactly what centralized exchanges have been doing since crypto began. It is part of this crypto market. The beauty is you can take advantage of that volume being traded by the trading bots and get in and out with liquidity there. So that's the beauty of those trading bots being.
Yep, absolutely. Yeah, I'm with the trading bot right now.
Will you draw the winner? Will you draw the winner?
Yeah, I'm sorry, draw the winner. Yeah,
we've got three so far, so we got two more.
Yeah, we got two more.
Okay, here we go.
7 minutes
drawing,
past.
sharing the screen. Share the screen. Oh my gosh, here we go.
Let's go.
Mark
Rossi.
Rossi.
Congratulations, Mark. Fantastic. Winner, chicken dinner.
Winner, Schmeckles for dinner. Getting that Schmeckle wing, baby.
Just from everyone in America, for Mark, not Mark, because everyone teases when I say Mark.
It's Mark.
Mark.
It's Mark.
Then I get teased for using a hard R. Someone's gonna write it.
I love your accent.
Hey, I got a blue wrench. I could boot. Gotta be out of here if he doesn't.
Oh, you're gone. Gotta be. See ya.
No, I can't do
no, you know what? You know what's funny? Oh, put the next one in so we can get people.
I got.
You know what's funny, James, is that it's like in America, if you have a friend who's British or Australian, doesn't matter. You guys have your your accents, right? And it's always like you would always be like the most popular kid. Like if you like came here and you were in school, that's just the way that it is. It just sounds more intelligent. Like you guys can say whatever. And it's like somehow
that's the first time the Aussie accent has been referred to as intelligent. Thank you for that, Melissa. We have to sound bite.
It just comes with it just speaks like intelligence and like what you're talking about. I mean, if you notice, dip a toe. If you notice, like on television in the United States, a lot of their quote unquote experts, they have an accent. A lot of them, the experts always seem to have an accent. The ones that are like really propelled. I mean, that's just what I've noticed anyway. So,
well, I wonder if that's partial manipulation. They're purposely getting people with different accents to make people feel a certain way, right? Because that's what mainstream media likes to do.
Yes, exactly. Which makes me want to have a different accent myself.
That's gone to British now, so
I've got to work on it. I've got to work on it.
I told you that's how it go. So you try to
throw in the South African and Kiwi accents as well, and then you've got like a mix.
Yeah, you got a hodgepodge. It's very hard. Like it's hard enough differentiating sometimes someone from Liverpool and Manchester, even though they're right next door, right? They're not fans, But there's just a few words that they say just totally different. You're like, no. That guy's from up north, and don't.
I
say
just
anything.
love it.
Yeah.
Trizzo's
Aussie, yeah, Trizzo's Aussie. Yeah, man,
Is he?
Aussie friend.
Is he?
Yeah.
He's from Australia too. Yes.
Yes, he is.
Actually,
Yeah,
I think
yeah.
I know Trisso. Do you guys know him?
Yes.
Is he a
Yeah, oh,
regular?
yeah,
he's our buddy.
Unreal.
You know him? Oh yeah, we love Trisso. We met him through Mr. Man. Are you familiar with Mr. Man?
I've seen the Dipper Toe show with Mr. Man, but I
Yeah.
don't really know him outside of what you guys did. So yeah.
Super,
Oh my gosh, wanna talk about
super
a
nice guy.
researcher? Holy
Oh.
buckets, dude! That guy is
Absolutely nice, great person. Just
great heart.
very kind, great heart. Absolutely.
I would say the
Beautiful.
superhero version of Gotta Be.
100%. Yes.
So he's better than Gotta Be, you're saying? Gotta Be,
Uh,
did you
No,
hear
I'm
that?
just saying the superhero version.
Oh no, that's not what we said. 211 Crypto says they're
I mean,
in Canada.
yeah, Gotta Be's his own superhero. You know, no mask, whatever.
Bring the
I'm more of a
shrimp to
fan
the
of Iron
Bobby
Man.
mates. Oh yeah.
The funny thing
Yeah.
is we don't call them shrimp, we call them prawns. I don't know how that
Prawns, yeah.
became such a Aussie thing to be known by.
It is. I don't know if it's Aussie.
It's an American thing.
Or
Yeah,
what?
put
What's
another
the
shrimp on the
commercial?
Bobby.
What's the commercial where they say "feed your lawns"?
What?
You lost
Foster?
me.
It's like "feed your lawn."
Feed your lawn. What?
Feed your
I think
lawn.
that's Scots, and that's up north, not down south.
Listen, I'm
Scott's
just
lawn.
throwing out all kinds. I'm not trying to say.
All right, well, listen, we got
Who's the next
27 in
winner?
here for the last one. Here we go. Oh, 3, 2, 1, dip a toe. And
Who's
we
gonna
are
be the
off.
dip a toe winner?
I got money on Megan. T.
Winner, chicken dinner. Mona.
Oh,
Yes! Oh, that's so
Crypto
cool!
Glam. All right,
Crypto
yeah, there you
Glam.
go.
That is my good
Perfect.
friend, Crypto Glam.
Congratulations.
Congratulations. She'll be so excited. How fun is that? Would we have one more?
No, that's 5.
Was
She's
that
the last
5?
one.
That is
Yeah,
5.
yeah,
Yep. So we got
That
Fitzy,
is 5.
Lisa A, Leb, Mark Rossi, and Crypto Glamour.
You guys
That's
are
right.
fantastic. Thank you for playing. Thank you, Gotta Be, for schmeckling, sharing your
Donating
schmeckles
the
with
100
the world.
What I'm going to ask, so the winners, if you can reach out to the Dipper Toe show and just provide your wallet address, and Melissa and Simon, if you can just feed that back to me.
Yep, 100%.
I've got Leb, so there's no need to send through Leb, but I do not have the other 4.
I did see people in the audience, because we are going to wrap this up. We've kept you 15 minutes over, and I do apologize for that. And it's been such a pleasure having you. But I did see people in the audience asking, how can they find you? And if they want to participate in the games and that, how do they go about doing that?
So if you want to be part of the Schmeckles game, so we have our Twitch stream, so you need to have a Twitch account. So that's probably the biggest difficulty that people have. Is you want to make sure that you have a Twitch account so you can participate in the giveaways. We often have like hundreds of people on X watching along, not being able to participate in the giveaway, so it's a little bit funny. So create yourself a Twitch account and come along. Just follow us on Twitter. I've dropped the link tree in the chat. It's also in this this YouTube account's description. So then we've also got NFT giveaways, which happen each week as well. So you need to be following us on X. You also need to be holding one of the NFTs from our Schmeckles vs. You collection, like this collection, as well as the Let It Burn collection. So one of the NFTs from one of those, you can join in on the NFT holders. We're also in Discord. So if you've got an NFT, any NFT from the Schmeckles project, you can join in a weekly poker tournament where you can win Schmeckles, Gotta Be, and Caleb, the winner of one of those prizes, then always battle it out in poker. So it's really fun. We also do a few other games in our Discord, which are free to play. So just come in and join us. Just get involved. It's all fun and happiness and really positive chats within the Schmeckles community. So Mark, if you can reach out to Melissa and Simon, or Mark, if you can reach out to Melissa and Simon, please, and just provide them with your wallet address and they'll get it across to me.
Dipito show at Gmail. Is that correct there, Melissa?
Yeah, that's what I was just typing in there. Or you can DM us.
You got it.
Yeah, yep. You can either email it to us at dipitoshow at gmail.com, or you can reach out to us on Twitter at Dipitoshow, or at my World Be Free 888 account, or at Simon Says _crypto on Twitter,
on X, on
I should say
those
on
other
X.
places. You can also give me a call, 425-412-0924.
Throwing out those
That
digits
legit?
again.
That's
Yeah.
legit. That's a legit
Wow.
number. Yeah.
So who's going to join me
I-
in pranking Simon? We'll do it live on the
Well,
air
there you
on
go.
Saturday's Twitch stream.
Hey, that's okay, man. I'll
I'm
save
gonna
the
be on
numbers
for
and
that
I'll write a
one.
note.
That
Wake
would
me
be,
up at 3
we're doing
a.m.
it. That would be
5-year
so
plan
fun.
commence.
But yes, so definitely I'll get all the links and I'll put them in the show notes on the YouTube, so people
Thank
can
you.
find you that way as well. Any final words? Thank you. I just want to say thank you so much for coming.
Thank you for having me.
It's been, you really, I knew it was going to be a fun conversation, but you really educated the audience on
I do it in a sneaky
quite
way, don't I?
I love it though. This is the cool part of the XRP community. And having someone like yourself come on and having some fun and educate, it's just like fantastic. But any final thoughts?
Oh, I've got so many final thoughts, but what I will say, guys, is life is limited. We are not given a whole lot of time in this world. So you need to take your life by both hands and make your life what you want it to be. You are in control. Nobody else is in control. Everything else that you feel like is control is just a figment of your mind. It is manipulation. You are in control. Make your life what you want it to be. Find your happiness, find your peace, find your loved ones, surround yourself with love, and bless other people. To give is to live. By giving to others, you will feel this beautiful spirit inside of you lift you up. It is one of the biggest secrets to life. Go find one of your local charities. Spend some time with them. Go find some people in your community who are struggling and help them out. I guarantee you it's going to lift you up, make you feel better about yourself. And once you've done all that, come across to the Schmeckles Project and join our community and have a whole lot of fun. And they're my final words. So thank you so much, Simon and Melissa. It has been a blast. Guys, make sure you're subscribing and liking and following everywhere the Dipper Toe Show is. And follow Melissa and Simon directly as well. And then come and follow the Schmeckles Project.
Oh, I love it. That was fantastic. Simon, any final words?
No, dude, he just stole the thunder from down under. That was good to go right there.
He totally did.
Great to have you on the show, man.
Thank you so much, guys.
Real good time. It was a real good time.
Perfect.
Thank you so very much.
Thank you.
We're definitely gonna have you back on in the future.
Definitely. Get me on with Greg so I can tease him directly to his face.
Absolutely.
We can have a banter night. We can have a dudes panel.
Next
Let's do
time,
it.
next time we have a panel show, we'll definitely invite you on, because it was
Thank
great.
you. Perfect.
You've got a lot to offer. You have a lot of gifts, Mr. James Ray XRP Schmeckles. I do want to thank everybody for coming out tonight, and any of you that are new. We have 309 people watching. Please hit that like on the way out and subscribe to the Dipper Toe Show. We will be back next week, same time, same bat channel. We gotta go. Keep dipping that.